Good evening, and welcome back to another election night in America. Before we get started with this video, I want to state, because I know there will be comments about this is not my actual prediction. It's just a fun scenario, so please don't hammer me for it and say you disagree, because I disagree with this. It's just a scenario which I drew up. So, that being said, I hope you enjoy, and I hope you learn something new. This is Election Night in America, 2022. Tonight, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party will face off to determine who will win the Senate. It's currently 7 o'clock on the East Coast, and we've got our first poll closings. So, before we get started with these poll closings, we do want to share with you the current competitive races. So, back in May, the competitive races might have looked a little different, with New Hampshire being on there instead of a state like Wisconsin or Ohio. But now, thanks to some better polling for Democrats because of Roe v. Wade getting overturned, and because this is a best-case scenario, a state like Ohio and Wisconsin are now more competitive than we originally anticipated, which is good for the Democrats. So, first projection of the night, Peter Welch, no surprise at the state of Vermont, he will win this election, defeating Christina Nolan. In Indiana, Todd Young, currently leading Tom McDermott, the mayor of Hammond, which is just outside of Illinois. It's on the border, and McDermott ran a decent campaign, but unfortunately for him, he's going to lose to Todd Young. Rand Paul beating Charles Booker, despite Charles Booker's massive fundraising. So in this race, GOP going to hold on here. South Carolina, Tim Scott has won re-election, defeating Crystal Matthews. Right now, he's only up by 3, but due to the nature in which South Carolina counts their votes, it's likely that Tim Scott will have a bigger lead when all the votes are in. But as of right now, he's up by 3. Lead will likely grow by a lot. And Georgia is currently too close to call between Herschel Walker and Raphael Warnock. So as of right now, that's yellow. And right now, the Democrats are currently in the lead with 37 Senate seats. GOP at 33, but we still have a lot to go. The night is still very young. We still don't know what the story of the night is going to be, but as of right now, no surprises so far. It's now 7:30 p.m. on the East Coast, and we've got some new updates. We can report North Carolina is currently too close to call between Sherry Beasley and Ted Budd, and Ohio currently too close to call between J.D. Vance and Tim Ryan. So, still 37 Democrats, 33 Republicans, but we can add Ohio and North Carolina to the list of yellow states here. So it's now currently 8 o'clock p.m. on the East Coast. We've got some major poll closings. We've got some important races to look at here in states of Missouri, Florida, New Hampshire, and Pennsylvania. In Connecticut, can project Richard Blumenthal wins this election. In Illinois, Tammy Duckworth has won this race as well. In Maryland, Chris Van Hollen has defeated Kimberly Klasick, who raised a lot of money, but unfortunately for her, will not be winning this race. In Alabama, Mo Brooks currently not too early to call. He's ahead early. It's too early to call because the Democrats had an early lead. But now that more votes have just come in, we can project he will win this race. In Oklahoma, James Langford winning that race, beating Joe Dorman. In Florida, currently too early to call, or too close to call rather, between Val Demings and Marco Rubio. In Missouri, too close to call between Lucas Kunce and Eric Grettens. And in the state of New Hampshire, currently too close to call between Don Bolduc and Maggie Hassan. Pennsylvania, too close to call, one of the most watched Senate races of the year. Mehmet Oz and John Fetterman scoring off in a very contested election. So, Democrats still in the lead. 40 Democrats right now have been elected to the Senate, 35 Republicans, but the number for both very likely to grow at this point because we still have a lot to go. It's now 8:30 p.m. on the East Coast. We've got poll closings in Arkansas, but we do have an update. John Boozman has won the Senate race, only 1% of the vote, and he will defeat Jack Foster in this race. 35-point margin of victory for Boozman, not too shabby. He will be headed to the Senate next year. So now up to 36 Republicans, nothing too much. Arkansas, no surprise they're out of the deep red state. The GOP will win this race. Currently 9 o'clock on the East Coast now. We've got some major poll closings in the states of Wisconsin, Arizona, and New Mexico. We've got some interesting races to watch there, as well as the Colorado Senate race, which was viewed by some to be competitive, but the latest polling has had Bennett up by 15-20 points, so it should be a pretty easy hold for Democrats. And we just got some news out of Colorado, which I just mentioned. Michael Bennet will win this race. He will defeat Ron Hanks in this race, not Tom Hanks, Ron Hanks. In New Hampshire, Maggie Hassan. This is our first competitive race we're calling. Earlier we said it was too close to call, and she has now shown us a big enough lead for us to call the race, her likely beating Don Bolduc by a similar amount as Joe Biden won last year. In New York, the majority leader of the Senate, Chuck Schumer, has been re-elected. No surprise there, but we'll still waiting to see whether he will have the majority office, whether he'll have a new office assignment come January. New York, Schumer defeating Wendy Long once again. Missouri, Eric Grettens. It was too early to call, but he's defeated Lucas Kuntz, and that will be a big victory for him. In Kansas, Jerry Moran right now has the lead. He will defeat the Democratic Party here. In Louisiana, John Neely Kennedy wins re-election here. No surprise out of Louisiana. In North Dakota, we can project John Hoeven will be re-elected. There goes North Dakota, and there goes South Dakota as well. John Toon, Senate Minority Whip as of right now, he has also been re-elected in this state. Currently too early to call a winner in Arizona between Mark Kelly and Blake Masters, but we can report that Kelly has a lead. In Wisconsin, Mandela Barnes trailing Ron Johnson very, very early on with just 4% of the vote in. So, we've got 43 Democrats in the Senate, 41 in the GOP, and it is currently too early to call in a number of states, including Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Wisconsin. So it's now 10 o'clock on the East Coast. We've got some more poll closings that we've got to update you on. But first, we have a projection out of Iowa. Chuck Grassley has won this race. No surprise here, defeating Abby Finkenauer. In the state of Utah, Mike Lee currently has a lead here. No surprise, Mike Lee will win this race, beating out Evan McMullen, who ran an independent campaign. There was some hope that he'd be close here, but it looks right now like McMullen will fall in this race to Mike Lee. In Nevada, Catherine Cortez Masto currently trailing Adam Laxalt with about a third of the vote in. Too close to call, though. So, Democrats, GOP now tied at 43 seats. GOP has had a good past hour and a half. They've caught up to the Democrats, both of them even at 43 seats, but we've got a big update on the way right now. So, 11 o'clock on the East Coast, we've got a big update for you. As of right now, we can project in Pennsylvania, John Fetterman has won this Senate race. It should say 82% in, but it says, it should say 87%. There you go. We just got a big vote dump, and we can project John Fetterman will win the Senate race. This is a very, very key race to the Democratic Party. They were hoping to pick it off, but, looks like they are going to narrowly win this Senate seat. And again, my apologies, this is California, I should say Pennsylvania. I hope it doesn't take away from the quality of this video. But, that's the one mistake we had to make. It's election day. Gonna make mistakes. Graphics team, guys, gotta do better. Anyways, Fetterman winning Pennsylvania. In California, though, we can project Alex Padilla will win this race. And we can project in Hawaii, Brian Schatz getting re-elected there. In the state of Oregon, Ron Wyden re-elected, defeating Joe Ray Perkins, who ran on a QAnon platform, which is quite interesting strategy for a state as blue as Oregon, but she will lose this race. Washington, Patty Murray defeating Tiffany Smiley in a race that was expected by some to be close, but does not look to be close right now. So, in Georgia, we've also got a massive update there. Raphael Warnock with just 90% of the vote in. We can project he will defeat Herschel Walker. Right now, he is currently below the 50% cutoff threshold for a runoff, but the remaining votes are from the heavily blue areas of Atlanta, and we think he'll end up winning by about a point or two when all the votes are in right now. But right now he's up by about 0.4%. We think that lead will widen. That's why we're calling for him right now. Herschel Walker, Raphael Warnock getting re-elected in Georgia. And I hope we can project, no surprise here, Mike Crapo will get re-elected. Not a shocker out of Idaho. And in Florida, we can finally call this. It was too early or too close to call for much of the night, but we can now project that he will defeat Val Demings. So 49 Democrats, 45 GOP here. And the Democrats right now look on their way to holding the Senate. They've won a number of competitive races on the East Coast, including Georgia and Pennsylvania and New Hampshire. They're hoping that they can pick off one more or hold on to Arizona and Georgia to get that majority, and maybe even expand that majority if this night continues going well for them. So now 1 o'clock on the East Coast, we've got a big projection out of the state of Alaska. It's currently too early to call, or too close to call rather, but it's also very early in Alaska. We cannot project a winner there between Lisa Murkowski and Kelly Chewbacca. In North Carolina, this is a big alert. She was not favored. She was actually down in most of the polls we saw, but Cherry Beasley with 90% of the vote and has defeated Ted Budd. We just got another massive vote count. Now 97% of the vote and nearly all the votes counted, and Cherry Beasley looks like she's on her way to be the next senator of North Carolina. This is big news to the Democratic Party. I'm sure they're celebrating right now as they see that she has won this race. This is a very, very important race to the Democratic Party, and it looks like they're going to win the Senate seat. So, with this projection, we can also project the U.S. Senate will be held by Democrats. We don't know the size of the majority, but it looks like the Democratic Party has been re-elected to serve that majority, so the Democratic Party will hold the majority in the U.S. Senate next January. They will continue to hold it. In Ohio, we got another key race alert here. This doesn't determine the majority, but it's really helpful because it is a gain for Democrats. In Ohio, with 90% of the vote, and we can project that Tim Ryan has won this Senate race. He's currently at 49.8% of the vote. Right now, the remaining areas are just from the Cleveland area, so they're likely to be more Democratic votes coming in. We can project that J.D. Vance currently trailing Tim Ryan. No path for him left. So Tim Ryan, in a pretty shocking victory in Ohio, has defeated J.D. Vance. So Democrats now at 51 Senate seats, GOP at 45. This has been a pretty bad night for Republicans. We'll see if it keeps getting worse. So it's now 2:18 a.m. on the East Coast. We've got a major projection to make. Alaska, Lisa Murkowski will win this Senate race. It is very, 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 weird, I guess you could say, but it looks like she's on her way to winning here. We have a runoff system in case no one gets 50% of the vote here, but it looks like Murkowski's going to avoid that, and she did consolidate the support of the Democrats because they did not run a candidate. They wanted to support Murkowski, and it looks like she's going to be beating Kelly Chewbacca and headed back to the Senate in January. And in Arizona, we got another big alert for Democrats. Mark Kelly with 85% of the vote and has defeated Blake Masters here. It looks like he's ahead pretty comfortably, about a 3-point lead. It might narrow up a little bit as we get some last Republican votes in, but I would say that the Democratic Party is favored to win here, and we're calling it for them right now. In Nevada, another update here. Catherine Cortez Masto reelected, right now leading out of Black Salt. Looks like she'll be headed back to the Senate with 93% of the vote in. So this is big news for the Democrats. They're at 53 Senate seats. They've net gained 3. They've held Nevada, Arizona, and Georgia, and it looks like they're on their way to gaining in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and North Carolina. Wisconsin's the only state we haven't called yet. We have a projection out of there right now. 5:17 a.m. on the East Coast. We've got a big update out of Wisconsin, in which Mandela Barnes has won this Senate race. We can project he will defeat Ron Johnson. With almost every vote in, 90% of the vote has been counted. Mandela Barnes leading Johnson just by just 0.3%, razor-thin margin here, but it looks like Mandela Barnes will win the Senate race in a very surprising victory to many. Ron Johnson, longtime unpopular incumbent, finally goes down. Democrats finally take their white whale down. So 54 Democrats, 46 GOP. Very, very big wave for Democrats tonight. Some expected to be a red wave. Some saw the tightening polls and thought the Democrats would do okay, but no one really expected this, big blue wave. So, Democrats 54 Senate seats headed back to Washington with a mandate. So, Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this election night. Be sure to like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys.